Welcome back, guys and girls. It's Ghost Robo, and we return to the biggest, baddest battle royale, otherwise known as Evolve. Today, we are returning to the hooves, to the horns, to the monstrous mouth of the monstrous Kraken. And we're going to spend a little time on the selection screen here, looking at the powers, because this is really where you establish your entire game plan, what you're going to do, where you're going to go. What I like to do is utilize a very specific plan of attack, a program for Hunter Devouring, and that program goes like this. I like to put 2 points into one skill and 1 point into the next. When I evolve for the first time, I will max both those skills to level 3, and we'll get into more of that strategy in a second. I want to let you guys know that I appreciate your support in this series so much. It's been so great to see you love and evolve as much as I do. If you want more, just hit that like button. Let me know in the comments which class you want to see next. Still have a few that we haven't explored. Right now, though, we're going to dive in as the Kraken, and I'll give you guys some more insight into his Cthulhu devastation right after this.
Kraken is death from above. Use the smell ability to highlight nearby hunters and wildlife. Melee attacks are effective at close range and while in the air. Eat to gain armor and evolve. Kraken can climb almost any surface. Use Airburst to travel faster. This ability recharges over time. Kraken will fly towards the direction you're moving. Lightning Strike unleashes a powerful electrical blast. Banshee Mines are great for ambushes and home in on nearby targets. Aftershock deals heavy damage to any nearby targets. Vortex pushes hunters away while dealing damage.
When my youngest brother was really little, he was obsessed with Godzilla and just monster movies in general. I can only imagine how excited his cute little 7-year-old face would have been had this game came out 6 years ago, but he's still super excited at 13, and he's gonna get to play it now, which is so awesome. I'm playing Kraken, and there's a lot of thought that goes into how you pick your skills and your perk as well, and sort of my theory has been you'd rather have 2 really strong attacks than 3 weak attacks, and you can do it however you want. You can split it up, and some people sort of buy into the philosophy that it would be better to have more skills that you can sort of use faster, because remember, there are cooldowns, and so the way that you're utilizing these is sort of a timing affair. Like, you have to really be conscious of, okay, this one's back, this one's drained, here's how they're going, blah 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 blah. And for me, I guess I would just rather have more powerful attacks of the special attacks and then use his melee as sort of my mainstay rather than try to spread myself so thin. And with Kraken specifically, the reason that I pick what I pick Aftershock because it not only does damage, but it pushes the hunters back. I'm not the kind of monster that wants to go after the crew at stage 1. I want to avoid them and evolve. I think part of my success comes from sneaking around. I use the crouch, I use the sneak attacks, and I really like to stay invisible for as long as I can so I can power myself up. Because remember, if you think about this logically, the hunters cannot level up. How strong they are at the beginning is as strong as they're going to get. Sure, they can find a perk that maybe increases their speed or deals more damage or hardens their armor, but that's just taking a gamble. You know, it's rare as well. So I feel that at least to stage 2, you really want to make sure that you stay low and out of sight as the monster. And so that's why I pick Aftershock. It's more of a pushback, more of a defensive ability while still dealing damage. And then I also like to get my Lightning Strike going at a certain point. Like, that's the one that's going to be my main kill. I typically avoid Banshee Mines as Kraken. For a while, I was avoiding Aftershock because it has such a long queue up. But once you have a plenty of armor, and if you get in sort of a big battle with multiple hunters, that can be just amazingly useful. Especially if you do like an Aftershock, throw them back, and then Lightning Strike while they're sort of on their heels and recovering. That can be really, really a nice combo. I avoid Banshee Mines just because, I don't know, I'm not the monster that likes to set up ambushes. I would rather just kind of go in full force or turn the tides on them as they're attacking me. I've been hit with a tracking dart, so I want to get out of here as quickly as I can to evolve. Again, for those of you curious, this is post-commentary. I'm not recording this live. I played this a little bit ago, and I didn't have a mic or anything with me, so I couldn't record it live. Eventually, I will be recording the gameplays live, and hopefully assembling like the most awesome Evolve squad I possibly can. I talked about this on Twitter, but I would love to play Evolve competitively. I think I'm pretty darn good at it, and it's the one game that I've ever played where I'm like, I want to play this and master it. Most games I play and I'm like, I enjoyed that and I'm ready to move on. I want the next experience. But Evolve is something that I really would like to master. Now, this game I started off with Aftershock and Vortex. I was going really defensive, and I'm actually taking a strategy that I personally don't recommend here. I guess I mixed it up in this match, sort of against my own better judgment, because normally what I do and what I've had extreme success with is doing the 2 skill and then the 2-1 and 3-3 system. What I mean by that is getting, regenerate health over time. That's gorgeous. So if they come at me at all, I'm in great shape. Or if I get into any fights with wildlife. But the reason, like, having 2 level 3 skills at stage 2 makes you a pretty tough stage 2 monster. I mean, of course your armor isn't where it needs to be. Uh-oh, we've got hunters approaching. They've domed me up. All right, we're ready for battle. Screw leveling up. Screw skills. It doesn't matter. I'm kind of glad I got that lightning strike now. You know, there's definitely benefits to both. There's not one right way to run your monster. I was just telling you what I've had most success with. And in this match, you'll see that I did something different and it still can work. So that's pretty cool, because even what I'm saying is my favorite, you can still make it happen with other techniques and strategies. Now, they've got me harpooned down here. Trapper is doing a good job of keeping me localized. And with Kraken especially, you really want to lock him in place. Goliath, you know, you can kind of keep a sight on no matter what. But my goal here is to take out this Trapper, because I do not want him holding me back. If we can get him down as the medic tries to go in there and help out, we're in pretty okay shape. Now, they've burnt through my armor. The dome is down, and I'm busting a move. I've got that regenerate health perk, so it's to my advantage to escape and heal up. Take some time for R&R, personal space, and reevaluate my choices. It probably would have been smarter to have a level 3 lightning strike at that point and a level 3 vortex rather than the aftershock. And if I was playing Kraken today, I would not invest in aftershock until stage 3. I'd rather have a level 3 vortex for pushback and sort of crowd control damage, and then lightning strike for precision damage. Lightning strike is pretty tough to pull off, but if you're good at it, you can be really good at it. Now, I'm trying to smell for wildlife, hiding around, making sure that I don't get seen, and we're crouching right now to stay out of the radar, out of their way. Sneak attack is very useful, and something I didn't know until just recently is that sneak attack can also be used on opponents. You may have seen it in my Goliath play, where even though I wasn't, even though I was seen, I would try to sneak up and pounce on them in order to get that better sort of down attack. Because what happens when you sneak is you go in for a pounce kill, basically, and it takes a lot longer to execute, right? You have to go into a crouch animation, then you have to approach them, then you have to make the leap, and there's a nice sort of animation sacrifice, I guess a frame sacrifice, if we're going to get really detailed, on the... Ooh, another perk. That's so good. I probably should not switch off, but my health is almost full, so I'm going to eat him, and I'm going to take armor regeneration now, which is pretty sweet. So both of my bars are going to be in good shape. But when you do make that leap, whether it's on a wildlife or it's on a hunter, you're vulnerable for a little bit. So it's not like you can just sneak and leap, sneak and leap, sneak and leap. It is a sacrifice, and you are going to pay the price if you miss, which I really like. It adds a little bit of risk-reward. There's a lot of risk-reward in this game. It's kind of a gambling man's affair. You know, are you going to push the monster? Are you going to hide? Are you going to dome him up here? Is that to your advantage? It can be to your disadvantage to dome up a monster if he's doing his job right and has the proper skills. And like I said with Kraken, if you can master range play, it's pretty hard to beat, because shooting straight up is tricky. It's a technique that I actually didn't really utilize or learn its benefits until I watched other people play Monster, which is another reason I think Evolve is so cool, because you can gain so many new things from watching people play. You know how people watch League of Legends or watch the International for Dota 2, or they watch Call of Duty to kind of try and pick up new skills and new tricks. I like Evolve because you can watch and learn new strategies and see how they're working and not working for new monsters. That's just filthy. Look at him evolve, busting pustules and popping spikes. So I'm actually gonna go Banshee Mines here, because apparently I was losing my mind and decided to do something totally crazy. But at least you'll get to see a very different Kraken than what I normally assembled and what I assembled in my first Kraken match that I posted. So the Ghost Robo that's talking to you now is not the Ghost Robo that was playing then, because I apparently had a totally different strategy. I still recommend my plan of 2 points in one, 1 point in another, and then boosting both the 3 and 3, and then investing all 3 points in a third skill. So you have 3 max skills. That's what I do with the Goliath every time, and that's what I most of the time did with Kraken. I guess I just got a little creative and a little, I don't know, just mix things up in this match. But we're okay. They're on my tail, they're on my track, but I've got some dashes, and they don't really have the ability to hold me down at this point. They're kind of firing off, maybe dealing a little bit of armor damage, but as long as I keep my armor at least at a minimum, it's okay if it's at 5%, that's fine, but as long as I keep that armor, I know I can get it back. Once they start, digging into my health, that's when the wounds become more permanent and more painful, and I gotta think about turning and attacking them and coming at them. But so long as they're just chipping away at armor, like, it's to my extreme advantage to just sort of play cat and mouse, lure them along, and the more time I have, the more I build my strength, the more I build my defense, and the more ready I am to really eviscerate everybody. Now, the power relay is within reach. I could go for that. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone win on a power relay, at least in my, physical eyes. I know it's happened, but in terms of games I've been involved in and played in, I've never seen the power relay be the end of the game. If anything, I think it creates trouble for the monster, because they know you're there, and typically the hunters are going to go and hole up there, and it gives them an idea of where you are going to go and kind of forces the fight towards the end. There is a timer. Like, if the monster doesn't kill the hunters in a certain time, he loses. So you can't just go and hide on a cliff as a monster and be like, "All hail Jungle King, fear me, and please don't see me." Like, that strategy just isn't going to work. You have to be aggressive at some point. I'm taking a little bit of fire here. You'll notice that Kraken, his armor is nowhere near what Goliath's could be. So we're a little bit more fragile. And so you do get to pick a perk at the beginning of the round, and if I had a recommendation there, I would pick probably damage resistance for Kraken. Goliath, I go all out and go damage output, deal more damage. But for Kraken, damage resistance is pretty nice because he's already a little bit more fluffy than Goliath. And there aren't just 2 monsters in this game. There's going to be a third revealed before launch, and then there is a 4th monster coming as free DLC for anyone that pre-orders. So basically there's 4 monsters in the game. We've just only seen 2, and we talked last time about what the new monster could be. Is he a burrowing monster, a psychic teleporting monster, a super fast velociraptor style monster? And there's a lot of good ideas, but we'll have to wait and see what the truth ends up being. Alright, so they've got turrets in there. They're firing rockets. They're pretty ready for me. I don't know how to attack this. I'm kind of trying to just think up an idea of what I could do. My armor is regenerating here, so we'll work with that for a second. Assault is coming at me, so this is dangerous for him. He has decided to make the move on me and isolate himself from the team. Now, with that direct lightning strike, I take out half of his attack. He activates his shields, which is smart, but I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to really focus on him to eliminate the damage being dealt. That will keep my armor okay, and hopefully not be a concern. Now, I flew through the center here, which probably wasn't the smartest idea, just because they've got a lot of turrets, but I don't want them to be an issue. I'm going to take out the turrets and use my Aftershock ability to sort of clear out the playing field so that I can maneuver around this arena a little bit more safely. My armor is gone, so this is a oh god, harpoon cables, not a good sign. The hunters have the advantage right now. They got me. It probably wasn't the smartest thing to go in that room and clear out those turrets. I thought it sounded like an intelligent play, but I probably should have just stayed in the periphery and focused on taking out the hunters, not needing to go into the center. Now, they are just going to hole up there, probably lay more turrets, so my work went to waste because I wasn't able to finish the fight in that moment. But I'm going to go and grab some more armor. I want it, I need it, and it's a perfect opportunity to just sort of refill and refuel and come in for the final battle. Will I be able to take them down? What's your vote? What's your guess? Do I take them down? Do they get me? I'm sneak attacking and sucking up the juices of these poor baby wildlife. I've been hit with a tracking dart, so they've got the UAV on me, which it's fine. They're gonna know which door I'm coming into. It's hard as a monster to have the element of surprise when you're this big. When you're at the power relay, like, they pretty much know where you're gonna go. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. You don't have the element of surprise in the end game like this. I mean, perhaps you do with a different monster that I don't know about yet, but with Kraken and Goliath, like, you're flying through and you're noticed pretty easily. I will say, like, one other tip that I'm thinking about as I watch is that when you're going after wildlife, it's quicker to use your special attacks. Like if you use Lightning Strike, Aftershock, Vortex, it does pretty good for taking out, it works well for taking out wildlife quickly. The issue I have with that is it lights up the map, it makes noise, and it alerts them of your presence much more easily than your regular melee. Now, that's another reason I take issue with Kraken. He's flying through the sky, he's got lightning on him. I feel like he's less camouflaged in comparison to Goliath, but doesn't matter. We've got these guys, they have domed me, and this is probably their disadvantage. I have zeroed in on the medic, I lightning striked him, vortex him, and now I'm coming in with an Aftershock. I throw down a Banshee Mine, and he is really in trouble. Harpoon cables, I don't care. The medic is trying to get out of there, and I just got to make sure he doesn't. I'm stuck on this piece of geometry. The dome is really tight. It's in the middle of this arena, so this is not a good place to be. But at the same time, I have great concentration on all of the hunters. They're all in this area, and they don't really have much space to move. I don't have much space to move, and that's a-okay. We can play sort of a close and comfy, cuddly game if that's what they want to do. I'm using my lightning strikes really effectively here, keeping my sights on the medic, making sure I have his name in reach and not letting him get out of the doors. I'm laying down Banshee Mines not as an ambush element, but as a damage dealer, and I don't know where he goes. Did he leave the dome? I think he left the dome at this point. So now we will focus fire as my lightning strike goes through the floor, and I have taken down a lot of people. It looks like medic and assault are down. Medic and I think. All right, the arena has gone down now. I'm gonna finish off support here. And we did that really well. Trapper's the final guy. My lightning strike is going to say goodbye to him and his soul as he tries to get a heal. He's really got no option here. His only play, if I was Trapper, what I would do is try to avoid and run rather than get in there. I would have gotten out a lot earlier, made a break for it, try to get the dropship to come back. But this lightning strike is going to go boom, finish him off with the crazy kill from range. Kraken wins. That was so epic. They dome me in, and sometimes, like I said, you don't want to dome in a fiery, crazy, volatile monster. It hurt them there, and they won't forget that one. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you don't forget this video. It was a good one, a glorious victory for Ghost Robo and Kraken. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed and want more Evolve. Let me know what class you want to see next in the comments below. Until that time, everybody have a fantastic day. Thanks again. We will drink some hot chocolate. We will see you all later.